Let's go Dolphins! Something is happening behind the scenes in Miami that not all fans know about yet. There's one name being enthusiastically mentioned, another surrounded by pressure, and a situation that could explode into success, or generate even more doubts for the future. But before revealing why this is attracting so much attention, be sure to like this post right now if you truly believe in the Miami Dolphins. And I want to see the real optimists show up. Go to the comments and write, "Go Dolphins! I believe in this team," because what I'm about to tell you might test how much faith you really have. Let's see who's really locked in with this squad. Now let's get straight into it. According to what's coming out of the NFL league meetings, new defensive leadership is already putting a spotlight on Chop Robinson, and there's a mix of excitement and urgency surrounding him. Head coach Jeff Hafley has openly expressed how eager he is to work with Robinson, pointing out flashes in his game that show real high-end potential. He specifically mentioned that when you watch Chop's pass rush tape, you see moments that make you think, this guy can be special. The explosiveness, the first step, the raw ability to get off the line quickly, it's all there. But here's where things get serious. Last season was not just a step back, it was a major disappointment. After showing so much promise during his rookie year, especially in the second half of the season where he ranked among the top pass rushers in the league, expectations were sky high. Fans and analysts believed he was on the verge of becoming a dominant force, someone who could rack up double-digit sacks and anchor the Dolphins' pass rush for years. Instead, what happened? A sharp decline across the board. His production dropped significantly, tackles for loss, quarterback hits, pass rush win rate, all cut nearly in half. That kind of regression isn't just concerning, it puts a player on notice. And make no mistake, this upcoming season is being viewed internally as a turning point. It's not just about improvement anymore, it's about proving he belongs in the long-term plans of this franchise. And here's another layer to this situation that fans need to understand. The current regime doesn't have strong ties to Robinson. He was drafted under a different vision, and in today's NFL, that matters. If he struggles again this season, there's a very real possibility that his future in Miami becomes uncertain over the next couple of years. That's how quickly things can change in this league. Now, Hafley's approach is going to be key. He's already talking about getting hands-on, analyzing Robinson's stance, refining his first step, identifying his go-to moves, and developing counters. This is detailed coaching, the kind that can unlock a player's next level. And if there's one reason for optimism, it's Hafley's track record working with edge rushers. He understands how to develop talent, and he's clearly excited about what Robinson could become. But here's the reality Dolphins fans can't ignore. Right now, Chop Robinson is the centerpiece of this pass rush. Yes, there are other names in the room, but none carry the same expectations or potential impact. If Robinson delivers, the defense has a chance to be solid. If he doesn't, the entire pass rush could struggle in a big way. And that's why this season feels like a make or break moment. There's still belief inside the building. There's still evidence on tape that he can dominate. We've seen it before, those final games of his rookie year where he was competing with the likes of the league's best pass rushers. That version of Chop Robinson exists. The question is, can the Dolphins bring it back out of him? Because if he can reach that level again and turn it into consistent production, we're talking about a completely different outlook for this defense. But if not, Miami might be forced to look elsewhere sooner than expected. And here's where things start to get even more interesting behind the scenes, because Chop Robinson is not the only player drawing attention inside the building right now. There's another name quietly gaining traction with this coaching staff and front office, and it tells you a lot about how the Dolphins are evaluating their roster heading into 2026. General Manager John Eric Sullivan went out of his way to highlight tight end Greg Dulcich as a player he's excited about, someone he believes could take a real step forward this season. And that's not random. That kind of public praise usually signals internal belief, and in this case, it also reveals a position group that still has a lot of uncertainty. Dulcich showed flashes late last season. Over the final stretch, he became more involved, finishing with 335 receiving yards and showing he can be a reliable option over the middle of the field. There were moments where you could see the potential, clean routes, solid hands, and the ability to find space in coverage. It's exactly the kind of production Miami has been searching for at the tight end position. But let's be real for a second. The Dolphins don't currently have a clear-cut, proven TE1. The room is filled with question marks. You've got players known more for blocking, others who are still unproven, and then Dulcich, a former high-potential talent who hasn't fully put it all together yet. So when Sullivan points him out specifically, it's not just praise, it's also a sign of need. And this connects directly back to the bigger picture. Miami is heading into a crucial offseason where roster construction is going to define how far this team can go. The edge rusher room needs reinforcement, especially with the lack of power players who can set the edge against the run. Most of the current group relies on speed, which creates a very specific limitation defensively. That's why there's a strong expectation that Miami will target bigger, more physical edge rushers in the upcoming draft. players who can complement what Chop Robinson brings, rather than duplicate it. The idea is balance. Speed plus power. Explosion plus strength. Right now, that balance just isn't there. And here's the part that should really get your attention. Internally, there's confidence in the coaching staff to develop these players. Jeff Hafley is known for being hands-on, detail-oriented, and relentless when it comes to working with his guys. The belief is that with the right coaching, players like Robinson and Dulcich can unlock another level. But belief alone isn't enough in the NFL. At the end of the day, this all comes down to execution on the field. Chop Robinson needs to prove that his rookie flashes weren't just a temporary spark. Greg Dulcich needs to show he can be consistent and dependable. And the front office needs to hit on their draft decisions to fill the gaps that still exist on this roster. Because if these pieces fall into place, we could be looking at a Dolphins team that surprises a lot of people this season. But if they don't, the same questions we're asking today are only going to get louder. Now I want you to do two things. First, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed if you want to stay on top of everything happening with the Miami Dolphins. And second, check out the video on your screen right now, because it dives even deeper into what Miami might do in the draft and how it could completely reshape this team. And this is exactly where the conversation starts to shift into something even bigger, because when you connect all the dots, you begin to see the direction this Miami Dolphins team is heading. And it's not just about individual players anymore, it's about identity. Think about it for a second. You have a young edge rusher in Chop Robinson who is at a crossroads in his career. You have a tight end like Greg Dulcich who is being quietly pushed as a potential breakout piece. And at the same time, you have a front office already preparing to attack the draft with very specific needs in mind: size, physicality, and balance on defense. This tells us one thing very clearly: Miami knows exactly what went wrong, and they're trying to fix it fast. Last season exposed some real weaknesses. The pass rush lacked consistency. The defensive front didn't always hold up against the run. And defensively, the tight end position didn't give the team a reliable, game-changing presence. These aren't small issues. These are the kind of gaps that separate good teams from true contenders. And that's why everything we're hearing right now feels so urgent. There's pressure on Chop Robinson not just to improve, but to become a difference maker. There's pressure on Dulcich to prove he can be trusted week after week. And there's pressure on the coaching staff to maximize the talent they already have while integrating new pieces that are likely coming through the draft. Because let's be honest, the Dolphins are not rebuilding. This is a team that still believes it can compete. The window is open, but it's not going to stay open forever. And that's what makes this moment so fascinating. You've got a coaching staff that believes it can develop players. You've got a front office that is actively looking to upgrade key positions. And you've got players who are entering what could be defining seasons for their careers. But here's the question nobody can ignore. What happens if it doesn't work? What happens if Chop Robinson shows flashes again, but not consistency? What happens if Dulcich takes a small step forward, but not enough to solidify the position? What happens if the draft additions take time to develop instead of making an immediate impact? That's where things could get complicated. Because in the NFL, patience is limited. And when expectations are high, results need to follow quickly. At the same time, there's a scenario here that should excite every Dolphins fan watching this right now. Imagine Robinson finally putting it all together, turning those elite flashes into double-digit sacks. Imagine Dulcich becoming a reliable weapon in the middle of the field. Imagine the defense gaining that missing physical edge through the draft. If those things happen, this team suddenly looks a lot more complete, a lot more dangerous. And that's why this offseason, this training camp, and especially this upcoming season are going to be so critical for Miami. Everything is on the table. Everything